Welcome to the Cons and Ferris High School Sports Show. I'm Jeff DiVeronica with my co-host Steve Bradley. We are talking some Webster Schroeder girls basketball. Warriors off to a strong season so far. Could be in the mix. They're down in the Class A bracket for sectionals this year. And joining us on our specialties hotline is first-year head coach Codi Mrozek, formerly Coach Battaglia. And welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us. And also senior Julia Perales and sophomore scoring sensation Mariah Watkins join us. And congrats on a great season so far, ladies. I know you want to be in the mix for sectionals. But Coach, let me ask you this. What do you like about the way this team's playing? As we record this, you've won 2 straight, coming off 2 losses. What's changed in these last couple of games?
Yeah, I think that we really just focus on our next game and what's ahead of us. We don't try to look at our season as, the whole entire destination we're trying to get to, which obviously is sectionals. We just take it one game at a time. And I think these last few games, they've really bought into that. As you've seen, we had 2 good wins after 2 losses, just showing that we can bounce back and play tough AA teams to hopefully get us in some good postseason play.
So Julia, as a senior leader on this team, you have some good young players and you have a coach, a brand new coach. What has your role been in bringing everybody together?
Definitely as a senior captain, just leading by example and setting a great example, not for my teammates, but for my coaches and the rest of the program has been my primary goal this season. And obviously playing with outstanding players like Mariah and her sister and the rest of our team has been just a great experience.
So how do you lead? Are you a rah, let's go everybody? Or do you like get in somebody's face sometime and say, hey, snap out of it?
I would say both. Like, I like to keep everyone positive and have great energy because we obviously need that and don't like to get down on ourselves. But I would say sometimes some people need to hear it too. And it's good to have both sides.
Mariah, how has this season gone for you? I mean, people look at your point totals and they catch people's attention, but what's your game and how do you feel about your season so far?
Of course, my points are something that people notice right away, but I've been very proud of the way I've been playing, like other ways, like defensively, and just being able to share the ball with my teammates and just the way we've played together as a team.
Well, let's tell everybody the game against Mercy, it really jumped off the page. 31 points is what I saw, 18 rebounds, 11 steals. Julia had 13 points, and Mariah Watkins, your sister, I think, right?
Yeah.
She's just a freshman. And I looked again, I did some research. I think you've been the top 2 scorers, you and your sister. I think you've led the team in scoring every game. And Bria's been there right behind you like 7 or 8 times. What was going so well against Mercy and a big win for you folks? Coach, let me ask you what made her so effective that night, or what makes her so effective, Mariah?
Yeah, well, I think first was our team energy. We had energy right from the start, which we've been really trying to focus on having a great start. And Mariah got hot quickly, and we definitely that was a great benefit for us. Just her defense, she got an early steal, 2 free throws. She definitely was just so explosive. You could tell she had some energy that night, and that helped our whole team. And we knocked down some big shots. We just really defensively, I think, stepped up. That's what fueled us, and specifically Mariah.
Mariah, and Coach talked about the defense jump starting, but where are you most comfortable playing? Facing the basket, back to the basket, inside, outside, getting on the glass? What do you like to do the most?
I'm more comfortable outside, being able to attack the basket offensively. I feel I can do more like that.
Julia, let me ask you about this young lady, your teammate, and what she looks like she has what it takes to go play at the next level. Has she surprised you at all with how great she's been all year long? I mean, I'm going to guess she's averaging about 25 points a game.
Mariah is just an outstanding player. Ever since we played with each other since we were young, maybe about 3rd grade, and she's always been so dominant. So it does not surprise me at all that she's still such an outstanding player, and I cannot wait to see what she can do, especially in college.
So Coach Mrozek, you just found out you were going to be the coach not long before the season. So it was kind of a steep learning curve for you. What have you learned about yourself and your team in the first, let's call it 3/4 of the season?
Well, luckily, most of these girls were my JV girls. So I like to say that most of them are my girls. And there's a few of these two that I didn't get to coach on JV. So first of all, it's been just awesome seeing like how acceptance like they were to change with a whole brand new coaching staff a week before the season. Jules being a captain and Andrea DePisa, both our senior leaders, have just like really set the tone for what the season can be, and just bought into what we're putting into what we want the team to buy into. So our defensive emphasis offensively, and then just team values that we have, like positivity is one of our big things, and playing together as a team. As a female athlete, I know playing on teams that don't get along, it's hard to be successful that way. So we really, really preach that and try our best to do that.
Julia, how about for the team? How important is it for you to have a positive female role model that you can look up to and was an athlete and has gone through similar circumstances that your team goes through over the course of a season?
It's awesome. I love having Coach. He's been such a positive influence, not just on me, but on the entire team, especially her being an awesome college athlete too. She just knows the game, knows what to do at all times. Like, it's just awesome having her as a coach.
Codi, you played at Aquinas, right? Or Coach Mrozek, sorry.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You played at Aquinas, right?
Yes. Yep.
And what sports did you play?
I played soccer, basketball, and lacrosse.
Were you on any of the state championship teams in soccer, or was that after you or before you?
No, right before. I won 1 sectionals for soccer.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, come back, and we'll talk a little bit more about maybe about some of your influences. And then I want to ask your players here about their opinion of, I guess, your coaching style. Because you are, I know you because you teach at West Veronica where I work, and you seem like a soft-spoken coach, but I'm curious to see if that ever changes. So we'll take a quick break. You're watching the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show on Rock Sports Now.
There's a path to success full of challenges, rewards, inspiration, and strength. A strength that only the U.S. Army Reserve can give you. The skills and experiences you'll get will give you an advantage in your civilian life. Stay close to home, train to develop your strengths, and get on a path to success. Find out more at goarmy.com/reserve.
For more information, contact Syracuse Army Recruiting Center, 315-449-2830. There's strong. Then there's Army Strong, paid for by the U.S. Army.
Sweet baby, oh baby,
whether you come here as a 6th grader or a 9th grader, you have to spend your 4, 5, 6 years here and just get involved in so many different things. And then you're going to go out and set fire on the earth. When you get through McQuay Jesuit, you're not going to fail when you get out in the world.
Tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. 30 years across the country they've been doing this stuff. 20 plus years in Rochester. You don't have that kind of longevity without treating your customers right, doing great quality work. Please check them out online, bathfitter.com. Call the local office at 617-0007. It's Bath Fitter Rochester. Don't be a DIY diva and try to do it yourself. Don't screw it up. Let the pros do it. Remodel with confidence. Remodel with Bath Fitter. And please tell them you heard about it right here from Jeff DiVeronica on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. We're brought to you by Salvador's Pizza.
There are plenty of professional sports teams in Rochester, but there's also a lot of great high school sports action in each town in our area. When's the last time you checked out a high school game? Section 5 sports are about more than just wins and losses. They're about teaching teamwork, dedication, and discipline. So support the kids who play for your school. Get out and watch a high school game today. For more information, including schedules, rosters, and stats, visit section5.org. That's sectionv.org. Brought to you by the Monroe County League and Section 5.
in doing the work you do. If you're hurt, we'll help you through.
Don't be fooled. Video hearings are as critical as appearing in person.
Make sure your rights are protected.
Your employer has trained specialists on their side.
And the judges work for New York State.
The only person on your side
is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorney.
Local McDonald's operators care about our local schools, teams, and student athletes. That's why they support the return of high school athletics in the Rochester area and around the state. See you before or after the big game at McDonald's. Welcome back, Section 5. Game on!
Welcome back to the Collins and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff, DiVeronica, and Steve Bradley. This is going to be our U.S. Army segment, Steve, where we tell you quickly about the U.S. Army. The Army actually can be part of your future. It can help pay for your college education. There are more than 150 different careers in the U.S. Army. The Army has great offices throughout the whole Rochester area. Take a look at the numbers on the screen and call up one of the recruiters if you want to hear more about what the Army can do for you. We're talking some Webster Schroeder girls basketball. Warriors 10-5 as we record this as they head toward the end of the regular season. And Steve Bradley, we have a first-year head coach who's been around to coach quite a bit in her life. Coach Codi Mrozek is here. Take it away, Steve.
So, Coach Mrozek, we mentioned in the first segment that you were a three-sport athlete, but you did grow up in a house where sports were pretty important. Your father, Chris Battaglia, very successful football coach, probably best known for his work at Aquinas, and your mom, Terry Battaglia, too, successful coach. What was it like growing up in a house where sports were so important, and what did you learn from watching your parents who were both very successful coaches?
Yeah, definitely sports was, I grew up knowing I wanted to be a teacher and a coach from my parents. That's all we really knew. I think the one thing I definitely learned the most is no matter how successful my parents' teams were, it always surprised me. And I think I saw the value in the relationship and respect that you have with your athletes, like years later, where they come back to our house when they're married or they have kids, they're inviting my parents to their weddings. It just really showed me it's more about that than just the wins and losses in the season. And I really try to take that as it is important to build that relationship with your athletes, because yes, you want to be successful as a team, but it's also about shaping them into, being better adults and young women in society and the community. So it definitely, sports was the big talk of the house as I grew up.
I'm going to ask you, Julia, about, I think teams learn the most from, they learn a lot, I should say, from when they lose games. So your last two losses were to Penfield and Canandaigua, two very good teams. What went wrong in those games, Julia, that you guys corrected? Because I'm looking at the balance in the two wins since then. In the Mercy game, it was Watkins 31, Julia, you had 13, and Bria Watkins had 9. And then against Hilton, it was Mariah with 23. Is it Andrea DePisa?
Yep.
She had 13 and Julia, you had 10. So that's really good balance. What didn't happen against Penfield and Canandaigua that started happening in those other two games for you?
I would say our defense and transition. We transitioned the ball really, really well against Mercy in our last two games, as well as played really hard on defense. The whole game starts on defense, and that's a primary focus, especially in practice. So I think that was just a great focus these last two games, which won it for us.
Mariah, now you have the opportunity to play with your sister, and you're still a sophomore, so there's a lot of time left in your career. But what is that bond like, and how good does it feel to have your sister right there by your side and to get to spend time with her and play with her?
It's really amazing having my sister just play alongside me. We know each other's game really well, and it's just another person that understands me as a player, and it's just awesome to have so many more years with her.
So I have a question for Mariah. If freshman Mariah played against Bria now, you a year ago, who wins one-on-one?
I'm going to say me. It might be biased, but I just think I have a little edge over Bria.
What Coach Mrozek, what do you think? What are they similar, their games? Are they different? What are their strengths and as you see it?
Yeah, Mariah and Bria are able to get after it a little bit different than anyone else because they're sisters. And I think that's why they are so good, because they can push each other in a different way than anyone else can. So in practices, we usually do try and get them on opposite teams when we can, because they're able to compete a little bit more But Mo likes to get to the hoop. And Bria's she's been a great point guard for us, along with Jules, and moving the ball, knocking down some big shots, and a great defender for us. So both of them have different strengths, but we're appreciative we have both of them with us.
Coach, maybe just a little more about Jules too, because just sitting here talking to her, you can hear like the polish and the confidence in her voice that that she's got to be somebody that her teammates follow just by the way that she carries herself, I would think.
Yeah, Jules she's a phenomenal leader. Like she said, she leads by example, and that's exactly what I would say she does. For us, we've been in a lot of really close games. We've had really tough battles. We've lost, we've won. So it's been really important that we have leaders like Jules to help us stay calm in those moments where it does get a little loud and it gets crazy. How we can't crumble, or after a loss, we come back together the next day. We have to be positive and move forward. And Jules and Dre, our two captains and seniors, have done a great job of making sure that we do that. And I give them a lot of credit for our success so far.
Julia, we're coming up on the spring of your senior year. Do you know what's happening next year for you for college?
Yes, I'm actually playing basketball at St. John Fisher, and my major is undecided so far, but I'll figure it out.
Well, it's my alma mater, so very congratulations on that. That's awesome. And Mariah or Mo, can I call you Mo? Is this your sport? Do you play other sports, and do you want to play basketball in college?
This is my main sport. I do also play volleyball, but I want to go to college for basketball.
Okay. And I would think that the recruiters are going to start knocking on your door pretty soon if they haven't already. Coach, have they heard from any recruiters yet?
She does have one offer from Niagara University so far. And I know there definitely will be more coming. I'm sure this summer will be a big summer for her.
Well, we appreciate you making time. Steve, with anything else?
No, just maybe the last thing for Coach is we've got 2 weeks left in the regular season. Sectionals, the season starts all over once the regular season's done. What are your hopes and what are your goals heading into sectionals for the first time?
Yeah, I think, we're really preparing our mindset. We played a tough schedule, as a lot of teams have. And we're just really focusing on one game at a time to get us to playing our best basketball in a few weeks once that postseason plays, and hoping that we can get a shot at some of these tough teams, Canandaigua again, Mendon, and seeing what we can do.
Well, thanks for making some time for us. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck in sectionals. Thank you, Julia and Mariah. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
And Coach, I'm going to call you Coach Codi. Coach Codi, thanks for being on our show. Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Webster Schroeder girls basketball on the Cons and Ferris High School Sports Show. Talk to you again real soon, folks, right here on Rock Sports Now.